ambitious person with goals, but you're not making the progress that you really want, and this leaves you frustrated, sad, wondering what on earth is wrong with you? Why do others seem so effortlessly motivated, and why is it so hard for me? In this video, we will look at BJ Fogg's motivation model and a quick and easy way to make yourself feel better instantly when you feel frustrated or low, which is obviously science-based, and it's my favorite way to get myself motivated and happy. Say it's my instant happy booster that works like a charm even on days when I have low energy. In case we haven't met, my name is Gwen Bach. I have a master's degree in applied neuroscience. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to build an online business with no success. Menopause hormones had me gain 10 kilos, and I just got a job offer at slightly above German minimum wage. Now, this is my personal hell as an ambitious person and with no progress for a while. Okay. So let's talk motivation, the elusive emotion many of us seek before we think we can start doing the thing that would get us ahead, be it work, creating content, or going to the gym. Motivational gurus and social media have sold us on the idea that we need to find a bigger why to get boundless motivation. My personal pet peeve. Plus, we don't need to feel like doing the stuff that needs to be done. Like, you do not brush your teeth in the morning just because you're tired or without excitement about your toothbrush, right? We have a lot of things we do without being highly motivated because they either need to be done or we have created an app, a habit, an automatic behavior for it, like tying your shoelaces. By the way, this is the 6th and last video in my series about changing automatic unwanted behavior. If you have not watched the other videos, the app analogy will make so much more sense if you do. It's all science-based and it's practical, and it has been literally life-changing for me and my one-on-one clients. One of my favorite researchers is BJ Fogg. If you haven't read his book Tiny Habits, it's somewhere there, please do. He's the guy who developed the methods that have been used by famous authors who unfortunately don't see the need to reference. So, his motivational is that if something is easy to do, like flossing one tooth or doing 2 push-ups, we don't need motivation because it's easy. You agree? However, if we feel something is hard, we obviously need more motivation. Plus, we need something that reminds us of the thing that we want to do. Basically, a preceding trigger, so we do it automatically when we create what he calls tiny habits. After we do the small thing that we want to do, we shortly celebrate ourselves with something like yay or woo. He has this example of him doing 60 plus push-ups a day, and he started with to do 2 push-ups after going to the bathroom. And we all do this multiple times a day, especially if you hydrate well. So after going to the bathroom, he did 2 push-ups. And after a while, they became easy and it became more push-ups. So they added up to 60 push-ups a day. And I loved that idea many years ago when I watched his amazing TED Talk and I gave it a try. After a few days, I woke up at 1 a.m. and had to pee. And I remember without thinking about it, I did my 2 push-ups. And I had a whole internal dialogue going on about that afterwards. But at 1 a.m. in the morning, and that's crazy. Anyway, after 2 weeks, I had to travel and went to the bathroom in a German train. I remember I looked at the floor and thought, there's no way I'm going to do a push-up on this filthy floor. And I stopped doing it altogether, unfortunately. A year or 2 later, I had a call with BJ Fogg and I shared this story with him. And he said that I should have found a replacement action to do when I can't do the original. Like in my case, with the dirty train, doing squats would have been a good way to keep it going, to keep that habit going. I also use this method to keep my kitchen cleaner, where whenever I turned on the kettle for tea and I drink a lot of tea, I clean something small in the kitchen. And over time, my kitchen became way more tidy. Another very smart thing he says is that you should make the desired behaviors as easy as possible and the undesired one as hard as possible. So I leave my laptop here in the office so that I read a book in bed instead of working. And the thing I want to work on the next morning is the file that I leave open. So when I turn it on, that's the first thing I see. Basically, the idea is that you break the big thing that you want to change into lots of tiny, tiny, tiny habits and train them by attaching them to something that you do anyway. Celebrate, and when it becomes automatic, you can add the next one, and I think that's genius. Now, I like to pair this with research from another line of research from, for example, Wang and Miljavskaya 219, Sheldon and Krieger 216, and many others that found that as soon as we engage in goal-directed action, as soon as we do something that contributes to our goal progress, it makes us feel better, happier, and it lowers depression and anxiety scores. And this is something I'm currently experimenting with, as my mood has been rather low if you have watched my other videos, but I will go deeper into this in my next video series. However, what is useful for you here, if you design a small repetitive task that is geared towards your goal, it will make you feel better, and not only through goal progress, which currently I do not see too much of, but also by engaging in that goal-directed action. Wang and Miljavskaya write that this feeling better starts within moments of us engaging in the goal-directed behavior. So we can and should use that to our advantage. So make a list of lots of small, easy-to-do, goal-directed actions. And with goals, it can also be less sexy ones than scaling your business. It can be something mundane like keeping your house in better shape, or increasing fitness, or decreasing stress, or building the model car you bought, the model car kit you bought 2 years ago. I have a worksheet where I break a goal into different type of goal parts. Say a business goal. It's big and it can be fluffy unless you're very proficient in building a business. So, because I'm not yet, so I break it into a smaller and even smaller part. Say, for building your business, it's building a YouTube channel. Now, when you break this down into the goal parts, you have outcome goals, process goals, learning goals, and scaffolding. Outcome goals are you want to publish 100 videos in the next 6 months. And I prefer to set these as something that is in my control. So I cannot control the numbers of subscribers I get, but I can control the number of videos I publish, yes? And I did not say that this is easy, as of course we want to increase our subscribers, but we focus on that, we'll be frustrated and we're more likely to quit. So next, process goals. So in order to be able to publish 100 videos, what do I need to do daily? What do I need to do weekly? And you can say you will create 3 short videos a week and 1 long one. This would give you 96 videos in 24 weeks. So what do you need to do daily to be able to do that? And does that make any sense? If this would be weight loss as a goal, the process goal would maybe going to the gym 3 times a week and walking 10K steps a day. And then what makes this doable for me is that I include learning goals, because I'm not yet proficient in building a business. So I need to spend time to learn and build the skills that I need in order to attain my goal. So spending time learning and in practice is not a waste, but it's part of my goal-directed actions that I designed. And it might sound like common sense to some of you, but for me, I felt I'm wasting my time when I'm not actively working towards my goal. And finally, scaffolding. And scaffolding is a concept I got from Martin Seligman. And he wrote a few books that are all really worthwhile. So scaffolding is building an environment that really supports the desired outcome. And this is where, for example, the deliberate thought engineering process that I created comes in. And that is a 10-minute pen and paper process to regain control of your thoughts so you can shift to strategic, goal-directed thinking. And because you see, you cannot easily change how you feel, but you can actively change your thoughts. And those thoughts then shape your emotions, actions, and habits, and thus your future. So I'm in the process of recording a few of those for YouTube. One is already published that helps you solve that I don't feel like it. And writing is such a great tool, and doing it with pen and paper makes it so much more effective. Okay, so now a pen and paper list, lots of small, easy to do, goal-directed actions, and sprinkle them into your day. Make them so small that they require little to no motivation. And do this now. And it sounds so common sense, but it feels very different if you have a list in front of you like I have lying there. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know which of the methods work best for you, and see you in the next video. And do try the deliberate thought engineering with a I don't feel like it here on YouTube.